Good evening and welcome to the Cellar. I'm your host, Richard Glover. You're tuned in to another amazing night in the Cellar where we talk about wine, fashion, and lifestyle. The Cellar is an innovative forum inciting provocative conversation about wine, fashion, and lifestyle. And it's a show that brings on many types of guests. Guests that are wine experts, wine sommeliers, chefs, guests who are foodies, guests who are just wine lovers, and people of other interesting industries in the fashion industry, and of course in the entertainment and lifestyle industry. Of course, this month we're still, continue to celebrate and to bring awareness to mental health awareness for the month of May, and we still have about 2 more shows to do that. So tonight we're going to have a great show. But now let me tell you about this show tonight. Tonight we're talking with some amazing guys and ladies in the Washington D.C. area, the DMV, who are, I call them cigar aficionados. That's right. We have some cigar aficionados here in the Washington, D.C. that's going to be visiting us in the Cellar. And of course, they're the owners of Pepworth Cigars on Northwest Washington, D.C. And of course, also tonight, we're going to have a Glam with Malia. We have another pageant queen that's going to be tuned in tonight, and you're going to hear about pageants. And this is the queen from Michigan, who is the Miss Michigan USA 2020 queen. So amazing things lined up for the night. Don't you go nowhere. Don't you touch that dial. Don't you move from that computer. Don't you hang up that phone. You're tuned into The Cellar with Richard Glover. And, of course, my girl from Detroit, the one and only Glam with Malia. Now, we're going to go away someplace and take care of some bills. We got to take care of some bills. But do me a favor before we do that. I want those who are tuning in on YouTube, there's a button that says subscribe. If you would just go right there for me and just hit that button to say subscribe. I want to thank the 10 to 15 people. I think I saw 10 or 15 people that tuned in last week and hit that subscribe button. So you're building up my viewers. I really appreciate that. And if you're tuned in to the Cellar with Richard Love on our Facebook fan page, there's a like button. Go hit that like button and share, share, share. You're tuned into the Cellar where we talk about wine, fashion, and lifestyle. We're going to kick this baby off tonight. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things can never ever be the same, don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path, all you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
Back to the Cellar. I'm your host, Richard Glover. You're tuned into another amazing night in the Cellar. And like I said earlier, our topic tonight is wine and cigars. And I mentioned that we have the owners in the studio of Pepworth Cigar. And we'll also have I call him a cigar aficionado, Mr. John Harrison and Ms. Dylan Johnson, who's the owner of Pepworth Cigars in Northwest Washington, D.C. So I'm excited that they're here in the studio with us tonight. And we're going to have a sit-down around the table discussion about wine and cigars. And our wine tasting tonight is going to be from it's going to be a French wine, and I don't know why I'm tripping up tonight. Anyway, but Bordeaux, wines from Bordeaux, France is what we're going to talk about. Look, right now we're going to bring in Malia. Malia, are you there?
Hi, yes,
Glam with Malia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great, great. Well, Malia, we're going to start with your segment. That's her
So this is
bandwidth.
me
That
interviewing
bandwidth.
some pageant queens. So right now, the girl that I have with, she is Miss
So, Malia, we're having some problems.
USA. She's a
Hi,
model,
Malia.
and of course, I said,
I don't
okay,
mean to cut you
let's
off. Malia,
let's
I don't
compete
mean to cut you
USA,
off.
Miss Michigan USA.
Great. Malia, I don't mean to cut you off, but we're having some video
Is Chanel Johnson. Chanel, how?
Hey, we're having some video issues right now, but we're going to come back with Glam with Malia. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of shift a little bit, and we're going to take a real quick break, and we're going to bring in our special guest tonight, and we're going to start talking about cigars and wines. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back as we get our technical issues taken care of. You know, this is
There you are.
What are you doing here?
There's something I need to say.
I don't want to see you go away.
You're right. You're right. I have forgotten how to act like a normal human being. And I play games, I lie, and I trick people to avoid the truth of how I feel. And the idea of letting anyone close to me is terrifying for obvious reasons.
And welcome back to the Cellar. I'm your host, Richard Glover. I tell you, I've been having an amazing behind-the-scenes time here. Welcome to the Cellar for the very first time, the owner of Petworth Cigars, Diane Johnson. Hello, Diane. How are you?
Hi, Richard. I'm well, thank you.
So
How
glad-
are you?
As you can see, I got the little sweat balls going on up here. And of course, I have with her John Harrison, who I consider a cigar aficionado. John would probably say he isn't, but you know, he knows so much about cigars. You know, every time I see him, he got one. He's smoking one. So
I need one now.
John, by the way, what is this? So my distributor, I had to throw this at one of y'all. My distributor sent this to me when I ordered the wine. So it's I don't know what it is, a cigar. I thought it was weed at first. I thought it was a big blunt. I don't smoke weed. But so can you tell me, can you look at it and see?
It's dark. It's hard to tell without even being able to light it.
Okay.
You can't always tell by texture, so a smell and a taste
Right.
would give us more of a clue.
Okay.
I'm guessing Nicaraguan, but I could be way off. I'm only saying that because it's very dark.
But that's a good answer because that's the same thing with wine. Sometimes if you don't see the label, unless you're a wine master sommelier or expert in it or an advanced student, you can tell by tasting it. It's always about the taste.
Yes.
So, you know, you can give me a glass of wine and don't tell me what it is, but if I taste it, I can tell you because I'll know what the notes are, I'll know what region it's from, I know what type of brand it's from, you know, I can tell you that, you know. And then sometimes I stumble because it's over 4,000 different varietals out there. And I'm sure, how many types of cigars are there?
As many.
And it's just as many, right, you know. And this is cigars and wine is the luxurious lifestyle of those folks that, you know, indulge in it.
Absolutely.
And so back to Diane. Diane, so you're the female owner of a cigar club, lounge, how do you call it?
It's a cigar bar.
Cigar bar, wow.
Yes.
And I was there last week, and it's an amazing place. I actually kind of grew up the street from there in Upshur. Across the street from there used to be the guy that cut my hair when I had hair. So Diane, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Myself, I am a Washingtonian, native Washingtonian, born and raised in Southeast DC. I have not moved from the area, went to school in the area at the University of Maryland, studied there consumer economics, and later picked up 2 other master's degrees. Business Masters of Science in Management with concentration in HR as well as a MBA. And after doing that, during that time, I also worked as a VP of HR for about 10 years for a small government contractor. I retired and was enjoying myself in my backyard and came up with the idea of possibly opening a lounge. My concept was really to have a space where I could smoke and enjoy other folks. And my significant other, Christopher Riley, he's our general manager. He brought another facet to it, and that was to include the liquor aspect, to do the pairings with the cigars and bourbons and scotches. And we opened up in November in a building that was purchased by my grandmother in 1978. She was a beautician. She had a little space off of Upshur, and when the building at 4203 Georgia Avenue became available, she purchased it for her salon.
Swank.
Swank Beauty Salon.
Yes, my
absolutely.
aunties and my mom used to go down there when I first moved to Washington.
And
I
Miss
lived up the
Jones.
street
I
from
thought
there.
you were going to say you.
No. I used to run in there because they were there, you know, and I was running up back and forth getting stuff from the Swank Beauty Salon.
Miss Jones was my
Miss
grandmother.
Jones, your grandmother. Oh, wow, small world.
Small world. So she maintained her salon until she passed away in '06. A few of the ladies stayed there for a while, and then the building was vacant. In about 16, my dad had a stroke, so that left all of his business in my hands and the opportunity to make the space available. And so we gutted it in November of 17. Took about a year to get the building permit. Had the work done by Liberty Construction, and they did a fantastic job with the colorings. You've been there, so you know
amazing place, yeah.
how relaxing it is.
relaxing.
And opened in November in the midst of the COVID. We were supposed to open March 2020. And with COVID, we pushed it out to November 20. And we've been moving ever since. It's been interesting, building our team, getting the team together. We are still kind of in a soft opening phase in that we're learning how to make the business work. And so there are a lot of things that we've been adjusting along the way. We have a ladies' night on Tuesday, and that's a new feature that Jerry Mack, who is our manager, she and I work together to build that, and it's been very nice. We have one of our lovely sponsors, John.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that later.
Yeah, so we have drink specials, light fare, play games, give out the raffles, and
Awesome.
I mean we've given away like humidors, cigars, things that I don't know what's in the bag sometimes.
So you make it really more relaxing, and you can smoke cigars and have bourbon, wine, or whatever, and at the
Yes.
same time relax and socialize. So.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where it's supposed to be, a place where you can come chill out and relax. A lot of people say this is their home away from home. This is their living room, and get comfortable.
It's very
And
nice, very nice. Almost like a sports bar too, because you got flat screen TVs.
yeah, we got 7 TVs and got all your ventilation. It's
Yeah.
pretty good with
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Me
ventilation.
not being a cigar smoker, I have to tell you that I was able to sit in there and not walk out like, because that happens. And so I did a couple of cigar and wine tastings in some of the surrounding cigar bars. One of them almost passed out because the ventilation was so bad, but I'm not calling names. Anyway,
Well, it's
So-
not Petworth.
that wasn't that word. But so Ms. Johnson, we're talking about an industry that has been dominated by males. They smoke cigars, they play hockey, they play golf. They sit around the table, play blackjack. And so as a woman, how do you navigate through that? That glass ceiling. Now, there's a lot of women out there nowadays that are smoking cigars, but owning a business, trying to attract those cigar aficionados and having something that's going to allow them to come and attract them to your establishment. How was that?
It has been actually quite easy in that once we open, it's a new spot, so people are attracted to that aspect. But then we have a plethora of cigars that Chris has supplied, gotten together into our humidors. So there's a nice selection of cigars. The bourbons there's a wide selection of bourbons and scotches, so it's attractive because people want to find something new, and he's always looking for new items to put in the humidor as well as on the bar. In terms of being a female in that process, as an owner, it's about having the right team.
Right.
So Chris brings one aspect, Jerry brings another aspect, I bring a different aspect, and that team together is what has really made it thrive.
Awesome.
And there are other women business owners. I mean, you have 2 shops I can think of that are in Baltimore that are owned by women. So it's not something that's new, but we are breaking into this man game in a sense of speaking. And there are some challenges once you go higher up. So my goal and aspiration is to not just be in the lounge, but to make a difference and make an impact in the industry. There are a lot of changes that we need to bring to the city so that smoking is more enjoyable for those who do smoke. And there's work to be done. So it's about relationships. Right now, my mentor is Drew Newman from J.C. Newman Cigars, which is the oldest cigar company. And if I ever need anything, I can call Drew and work through my scenarios, or PCA, which is the Premium Cigar Association. They've been very helpful as well when we're dealing with certain issues in the industry, and also Cigar Rights of America.
Great. Don't go nowhere.
Okay.
We're going to continue this conversation.
All right.
We're going to take a quick break. I'm talking to Diane Johnson, owner of the Petworth Cigars, and we're going to do some wine and cigar tasting. We're going to, talk about it some more tonight. But what I like to do is see if we can get back to Glam with Malia. Are they ready? Can they get back in? Are they back into the green room?
They just have to turn their cameras on.
Okay, great. So let's go to a quick break, and we'll come back and do Glam with Malia so we can get back into the cigars and wine. And we're going to do a wine tasting tonight. I have a French wine that we're going to do tasting from Bordeaux. And I said the word wrong earlier, but I made it right. Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. You're tuned into the Cellar with Richard Glover.
Nutcase, wacko, loony. I didn't understand that words like this are hurtful and untrue until my brother was diagnosed with a mental health condition. There are a lot of other people that don't realize the impact that these words can have either. That's why I'm partnering with Razoo to raise funds for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They are there for families like mine. In a country where 1 in 5 is affected by a mental health condition, they've helped all of us to see the person, not the condition. If you join me in my pledge to be stigma-free and we raise $10,000, I'll host a Google Hangout on Monday, June 20th, to answer all of your questions about Season 4 of E's Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. Remember, no amount is too small. Even $1 helps make a difference.
Psycho, nutcase, schizo. You may not realize it, but these terms, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental illness, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. When the discussion on mental illness focuses on fear instead of hope, people struggling with these conditions get caught up in the judgment and shame attached to them. They become lost in all the talk and harmful words, and they may not get the support they need. But we can help by directing our loved ones to places like NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, for life-saving resources. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join me, pledge to be stigma-free.
Hi guys, Yashi Brown here to you to talk today about something that's really important to me. That's words. I love words. I should, because I'm a poet and a writer. But this is something that's a lot more serious because it has to do with hurtful words like nutcase, wacko, loony. What it does is it keeps people in silence when it comes to mental illness. Something that's really important. So it's very crucial that we change the dialogue so that people will open up, because when individuals are experiencing severe emotional pain, what happens is the symptoms get worse and worse, and sometimes to the point of no return, and we don't want to think about what those consequences are going to be. So we definitely need to help each other open up and not remain in silence by changing this particular dialogue. Being part of this stigma-free campaign of NAMI's and Hope and Grace Foundation is really awesome because it allows us to get the word out there and to bring awareness, and hopefully it'll be of benefit to you and your loved ones, and you'll be able to be a part of that solution. That's so important. When I was 24 years old, I was diagnosed with severe bipolar disorder. And it was things such as this and vocabulary and words that kept me in such severe silence. And for over a decade, I wouldn't dare tell anybody about me and about the challenges that I was having. And I stayed in a very lonely world. And it could have been a lot easier, and I could have got through things a lot quicker if there was just more awareness out there in society. So hopefully we'll be able to do this together. We'll be able to change this dialogue, be stigma-free, and move forward in a very positive direction and create that change that's so necessary. So good health to everybody, and thank you so much for listening. Hi guys, Yashi Brown here to you to talk today about something that's really important to me. That's words. I love words. I should, because I'm a poet and a writer. But this is something that's a lot more serious because it has to do with hurtful words like nutcase, wacko, loony. What it does is it keeps people in silence when it comes to mental illness. Something that's really important.
Welcome back to the Cellar. I'm your host, Richard Glover, and you're tuning in to another amazing night in the Cellar where we talk about wine, fashion, and lifestyle. And of course, I told you earlier, our topic is wine and cigars, but what I like to do is bring in our segment called Glam with Malia. Malia has an interview with another pageant queen from 2020. Malia, welcome into the studio.
Hi, yes, how are you?
Yeah, she's there.
I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay, Malia. It's okay. I'm gonna build you another house in Detroit with a whole lot of Wi-Fi. Okay. So who do you have tonight with you?
Yes, so I am still interviewing pageant queens for now, but I have this wonderful girl who is Miss Michigan USA 2020. She's also a model, and I said before, a pageant queen. Chanel, how are you?
Hi there. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Hello, Chanel. Welcome to the
Hi
Cellar.
there. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for inviting me.
Yes. Yeah. So the stuff that I wanted to ask you tonight, like the
Mhm.
question, what made you want to compete for Miss Michigan USA since this was your first time? And I know you said that you were getting clear, like near the ending point, and you just decided like right off the bat.
Yeah. So I went to Wayne State University here in Detroit, and I graduated. And I have been working as a probation officer actually for the Oakland County, as I still do. And yes, I was just trying to find something else to get into. And I knew that my age was going to surpass the age limit for competing at Miss Michigan USA. So I thought, well, you know what, all these years, I've watched the pageant, I've watched the national and international pageant, Miss Universe. I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. So I definitely went in there with the mindset that I was going to give it my best and that this was going to be a wonderful experience. But as I have said in all of my interviews, I did not expect to win the competition. I was definitely there just to learn and to grow and to hopefully maybe possibly win, but it definitely wasn't something that was on my mind. So I've been very grateful for the opportunity over the past almost 2 years. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I'll be the longest reigning Miss Michigan ever. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask, how was the experience competing at Miss USA, especially with this COVID, like wearing masks and staying 6 feet apart? And I know you guys quarantined in a room for a few days before you actually got to live with the other girls.
Yes. So when we got there, I mean, the Miss Universe organization, they did a really good job of keeping everything in order. So when we got there, everyone had their quarantine room. So I was in a room by myself for 24 hours, which was not the worst thing in the world because I was tired. I had worked all week and I was just like, oh my God, I needed this time. And they brought food to our room so we didn't have to leave to eat for the evening, and then we were able to get up the next day and just get dressed and get ready for the week ahead, the competition and rehearsals and all of that. And we had to get a COVID test every day, which was interesting because if you had a COVID test, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. So got a COVID test pretty much every day or every other day. We had to keep on our masks at all times. That was definitely a thing. But they did allow us to interact with a lot of the girls when we could, when it was time for like lunch and dinner, and really got the opportunity to finally get to know my pageant sisters because, you know, the competition was supposed to be way earlier. And then due to the pandemic, kind of got pushed back. So all in all, I think they did a really good job at making sure that we could still enjoy the competition and feel like we were at a real Miss USA competition, even though, you know, everything was completely flipped from what it was in previous years. So I really enjoyed my time, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to attend and represent Michigan at the pageant. So. Mm-hmm.
So what's the one thing that you got to do with your title of Miss Michigan, such as like getting your dream dress or talking about your platform or like, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? Those two things right there were I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to just be involved in a program like this. Picking out my gown for Miss USA was absolutely wonderful. I mean, you watch the Miss USA pageant, you watch Miss Universe, and, you know, a lot of times it's all about the gowns, and the fact that I got to go and pick one. It was a beautiful Sherry Hill gown that I have in my closet that I'll be keeping forever. That was definitely an experience of a lifetime. And then I've gotten to do so many appearances over the course of the past couple of years. And I have a few more. I'm trying to squeeze in as many as I can until the state pageant that's happening in August. But I have to say my most memorable appearance would have to be going back to my middle school and going there and seeing all the teachers that were there when I attended middle school like 15 years ago was really cool to see. Actually, way more than that. Oh my God, that's like 20 years ago. Hold on now. Almost 20 years ago. It was definitely interesting to see all of them still there. And being so proud of me and being able to show off, you know, all of my hard work and going in a crown and a sash and being Miss Michigan USA, it was pretty cool. And, you know, the students were really excited, and I got to talk to them about what I've been talking to all students about throughout the year, which is, you know, ensuring that they have the resources, the opportunities, and things that they need in order to thrive and and go off into this world and accomplish all of their goals and their dreams. And that was really my message throughout the year, especially as a probation officer. So yeah.
I've been also watching your journey up until when we competed together, and then I was watching the Miss USA, and you did an amazing, girl. Like, I was so
thank you. Oh, I mean, it never gets easier to walk on stage in front of a bunch of random people in a swimsuit. Like, it's nerve-wracking. It's very nerve-wracking. But you know what? One thing I've learned is that whether you win or whether you don't win the pageant, Mississippi won this year. She did an amazing job at Miss Universe just last weekend. You grow and you learn so much when it comes to competing in pageants, and I think that has been one of the most memorable things for me, is that I have grown so much in confidence. I've grown so much as a speaker. I've met so many young ladies and women from all over, and it has just made me a better person and has introduced me to a lot of wonderful opportunities. So yes, I'm excited for the state pageant this year. I don't know, will you be there?
See, I was thinking about it.
Okay. All right, I know sometimes people take a year or two off and then they come back, so all in all, it's a great time. And the pageant is August 7th this year for anyone who wants to attend or compete.
Great. So Malia, this is Richard. So Miss Johnson, right?
Correct. It's Miss Johnson.
Great. So we have two Johnsons on the show tonight. We have Chanel Johnson, beauty queen, and then we have a business queen, Diane Johnson. So we are very fortunate to have that here in the Cellar. I have a question though before you guys finish. Chanel, when is the next competition that you is this for Universal or is this for Miss USA National?
Well, actually competing at the state level, which is what I did, and winning your state title, Miss Michigan, there's Miss Tennessee and Miss DC, that will get you to Miss USA. We actually went to Miss USA in November of 2020. Okay. And Mississippi is who won this year. Mississippi has never won a Miss USA title. So Asia Branch represented the United States at the Miss Universe pageant.
Right,
which took
I remember
place in
Asia
Florida.
Branch.
Last week on Sunday, and Mexico won this year.
I know, that was surprising because everybody was putting their money on Miss Tennessee to win, the U.S. to win that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Peru and the USA. I mean, Asia, she did amazing.
Yes, she did.
She did outstanding. So yes, it's always it doesn't really matter who wins. It's always nice to just see somebody win because they all worked hard, and they all deserve to be there. And whoever it is, I knew that they were going to be able to represent our country and the universe as best as they could. So congratulations to Miss Mexico.
Great. So we're about to run out of time because we got to go to another commercial break. But I want to ask you one more question. Can you give us your social media for our listeners and our viewers so they can be able to reach out to you? And also, have you considered the Miss Bikini?
No, I have not. No,
well, Malia is the director, so Malia, you need to recruit her from Michigan.
I am a probation officer for the state of Michigan, so there is a level of.
Oh, there's a level. Oh, okay.
A level of that I have to maintain.
You have to keep.
While I'm out here working with the community, so this will be my last pageant. But my social media is for Instagram. It's ChanelLanae. That's my first and middle name, Chanel Lanae. And you guys can follow me on there. I usually use Instagram more than anything else. So
great. Yeah. So glad to have you on the show. So glad, Malia, again, another amazing interview. And we're going to be following you, even though you say probation officer.
Michigan.
I see all these TikToks with police officers that are women that are dancing through TikTok. So.
Oh my God! Well, I'm not a good dancer, so I'm kind of just out of the loop. Okay, great. I'm gonna stick with Instagram, and I've gotten good at Zoom now, so I'll do that too.
Awesome, great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We got to go to a quick break right now.
Bye, Malia. I'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you. We're gonna go to a quick break right now. We'll get back to this wines and cigars, and I have so many questions, and we're gonna talk about different types of cigars. Full body, light body, medium body, and how we compare them with wines. So I'll tell you the type of wine, and you can tell me the type of cigar. Don't go nowhere. You're tuned into the Cellar, where we talk about wine, fashion, and lifestyle. welcome back to the Cellar. We're talking about wines and cigars. And of course, fashion, lifestyle, and pageants. All that's incorporated into what we do here at the Cellar. So, can I call you Diane?
Yes, you may.
Absolutely, Diane. So, I'm gonna do a little game here with you. Okay. So, I'm gonna talk about a white wine. I mean, a wine. Period. Whether it's full body, white, red, sweet, and you can kind of compare with your knowledge. And John, please join in. What type of wine, what type of cigar will go with that wine. Now, earlier while we were on a break, we were sharing about people's palates and I can't tell you what type of wines to drink. I can explain to you about the wine, and I can give you about the notes and the varietal, where it comes from, but I can't, it's your palate that really makes the difference.
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing with cigars, right?
Absolutely.
So, because I was telling, and then John said personality. And that's, and before we get to the game, John, what do you mean when you say personality?
Personality mode, meaning, you can feel a certain way that day.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go smoke a 770 flathead cigar with a glass of Merlot.
Okay.
That's what you want to relax, you want to wind down, you want a long, smooth smoke.
And what was it called again? Because you said it kind of soft.
Flathead 770.
A Flathead 77. And interesting enough, you said with a Merlot.
That's my mode.
Well, and interesting enough, I tell a lot of women that most women like Merlot because they'll come home from work, Diane, kick off the heels. It's been a crazy day at the office, and they just want to get in a shower, or get in a tub of some bubbles, have a glass of Merlot, listen to some maybe Luther Vandross or Teddy Pendergrass, and they don't want to be bothered. They won't even answer the phone. And that's the type of personality for some women when it comes to Merlot. So it's interesting that you said that. I love a Merlot on Mondays when I've had such a busy day and I got so many other things that I got to do. I don't get in the shower or the tub. I just grab the bottle of Merlot, sit down, put on some music, and I go for it, because I'm home,
When you go in a cigar bar and you look around, like any other venue, you can almost tell who to engage or who not to. I see her over there. She's in her world. Speak. Keep moving. It's a cigar etiquette. Okay. Some people are more, they may be over here talking about this, that, and other, you engage. So it's like multiple worlds in Petworth when you're in that venue. When you look around, if you really sit back and just observe, you see guys working, some reading, some ladies. It's just, you never know what you're going to see. Some may be out on the patio if it's a nice night. Okay. Ladies' night Tuesday, like when the wine tasting is going on, you'll see the whole.
You can give it out the secret right now, John.
Oh,
we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to tell them what's going to happen.
Totally an accident.
He's a promoter. He is definitely a promoter. Promoters like to give out that.
Well, they have a great patio. How about that?
And something's going to happen on that patio next Tuesday.
Very soon.
One day very soon. So, Diane, I'm thinking of a full-body Temporello, dusty. Got a lot of peppers in it. I call it a rough type of wine because it's full body. It's a hard wine, but yet it has a long finish. It's got a lot of peppers in it, bell peppers, got black peppers, got dark cherry in it and stuff. What kind of cigar would you pair with that with?
With something like that, I would probably go with a cigar from Honduras.
Wow.
Because if you're offering me a wine that's very peppery, I might want a different taste on the other side with the cigar. And one from Honduras is a much sweeter tobacco. It doesn't have a sweet tip. The tobacco is just sweet because of the region of where it comes from.
Wow.
So that would be my choice, just to have something different to balance it out.
And the Temporello is Italian. And it's interesting that you said that because I would tell people when I pair food, I say, if you're going to have a rough wine like a Temporello, why always have to have red meat?
Right.
You can go with some Asian chicken or some sweet and sour, something to have a little sweet on the side to balance out the wine and then take on your palate.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Sauvignon Blanc, white Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, a lot of melons, a lot of Grey Goose, a lot of gooseberries, a lot of green apples in it. And those are some of the ingredients in a Sauvignon Blanc. And it's a white wine. Light body.
Autor Fuente Rosado.
Wow, say that again.
Autor Fuente Rosado.
Awesome. Wow. And where's that cigar from?
That is from Nicaragua, but it's a rosy colored wrapper and it's a real smooth smoke, opens up really well, has a nice profile all the way through. So it's not going to overpower the wine. It's going to complement it.
Right, because
that would be my choice.
Because that Sauvignon Blanc is fruit forward. You know, you're going to taste the green apple. You're going to taste the liminess in it.
Right.
The Sauvignon Blanc, as the critics would say, is for two women is like having sex for the first time if it was good.
Okay.
Because it's old world processes, but it's also new world processes. You know, on the second time around, and the acidity level is 25%.
Okay.
So about cigars, what are the acidic levels of some cigars?
Now, I cannot give you that.
Okay.
That's something our tobacconist could probably offer to you.
Okay.
If they're bitter, that means they're acidic. I tend to stay away from cigars that, if you're going to smoke a cigar, it's got to be a good cigar. So if I start smoking it and it's not good, I'm done. I need to move on. Life is too short not to have a good cigar.
I agree.
So,
I totally agree.
Absolutely.
so you, even like if I were to have a Cabernet Sauvignon, it really depends. I mean, everybody's palate is different. So therefore, some people are going to have a go-to, whereas I go to the entire humidor. I don't want just one particular cigar or from just Honduras. I want some from Nicaragua or I want it from the Dominican Republic. It just depends on where I am that day and how I'm feeling. But pairing it, really, you just want to balance it out. If one is real strong, then you want to come with maybe a lighter cigar. Or if you have a light wine, some women like to smoke the sweet cigars where you have a Tatiana or like a Fat Bottom Betty or a Sweet Jane or even a Zola, which is Jamaican and Nicaraguan. So it really depends on the person's taste. I mean, I'm not a sweet cigar smoker with flavored tips, and I don't do those.
But you know, there are some men that actually.
There are quite a few men.
cigars.
Well, what's the name of it? You said a Sweet Fat Betty?
Oh,
I like that. What was that?
it's a Fat Bottom Betty by
Fat
Drew
Bottom
Estate.
Yeah, you like that name, don't you?
Very, very popular with both brothers and sisters of the leaf.
Wow. You know, it's interesting that you say that because there's the Fat Bottom Betty and cigars, and then there's the Menage a Trois and wines, and the, you know, the skinny ladies and wine. You know, it's interesting how these names come out these days. You know, with wine and cigars.
Got to make it
and stuff.
appealing.
It's very appealing. Yeah, you know. I mean, how can a woman, let me take that back. So a woman in the wine world, they look at the wine bottle. They're attracted by the illustration of the bottle, how good the bottle look. You know, if it's very decorative. Before they try to learn out what about the wine, they look at the color of the bottle.
Absolutely.
What about in cigars?
The same.
Wow.
A band makes a difference
Wow.
as to whether or not it's appealing. It's about using all of your senses, your eyes, your nose, your tongue, just what it sounds like when you lighten it up and how you're smoking it. All of that makes a difference. And you want to have something. It's a luxury lifestyle. I mean, cigars are not inexpensive, so you want to enjoy the lifestyle, do the pairings, whatever makes you happy. It really has to make you happy. So I couldn't just say you need to get this or that. But women who are wine drinkers and look at bottles, I look at it too. There's something I recall, a Little Black Dress. Just the name is appealing to me, and then the label is not bad, but when you look at a cigar label, a band on a cigar, if it has multiple colors, if it has gold, if it has silver, when they're flat, they're not as appealing. And it makes a difference visually as to whether or not I want to try it.
Wow.
As well as the shape of the
And the wrapper, the Vitol.
The dressing, the package.
The same thing with wine, the package. You know, again, women and now some men too. They look. They don't really care about the points. Now I don't know. Do cigars have points in them as well? So points are like
quality.
The quality,
right. There are ratings. They definitely have
Okay.
ratings.
They don't call them points as they do in
It's
wine.
a rating.
They call them a rate. Okay.
You can have a 90 rating or a 95
exactly.
rating. It
95,
depends.
Yeah. And again, people, and I believe a lot of people are beginning to get into the, like you said, the package. You know, it looks
the
good.
package just like with wine and liquor. You can smoke a cigar with a glass of wine, and the next day have a glass of cognac, and you'd be like, man, it's the best cigar I ever had. So it's kind of the same you taught me with wine, because of what you might eat with it that you don't even like that wine.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I learned that from you.
Well, thank you very much. Wow, we're going to take another break. And we'll come back. We're going to be set up for our wine tasting. We're tasting a Château Grand Jean, which is from Bordeaux, and it's a French wine, a red wine. And we're going to taste that, and we're going to probably talk about what kind of cigar, if we had a cigar here, what would we smoke with it?
Okay.
Don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. You tune into The Cellar with Richard Glover. We talk about wine, fashion, and lifestyle. Our topic tonight is wine and cigars.
Wacko, nutcase, loony. These words surrounding mental health are not only hurtful, but they're untrue. In a country where 1 in 5 are affected by mental illness, we need to start learning that not all pain and illnesses can be seen. I'm Tori DeVito, and I know. I know because I suffer from anxiety myself. I know what it feels like to be stuck in a black hole, to feel paralyzed inside your home, like you can't move, like you can't breathe, because your heart is pounding so hard you can't think of anything else. It's terrifying, and worst of all, it's alienating. Me to see the person and not the illness. Let's all pledge to be stigma-free. Wacko, nutcase, loony. These words surrounding mental health are not only hurtful, but they're untrue. In a country where 1 in 5 are affected by mental illness, we need to start learning that not all pain and illnesses can be seen. I'm Tori DeVito, and I know. I know because I suffer from anxiety myself. I know what it feels like to be stuck in a black hole, to feel paralyzed inside your home, like you can't move, like you can't breathe, because your heart is pounding so hard you can't think of anything else. It's terrifying, and worst of all, it's alienating. So stand with me to see the person and not the illness. Let's all pledge to be stigma-free. Wacko, nutcase, loony. These nutcase, wacko, loony. I didn't understand that words like this are hurtful and untrue until my brother was diagnosed with a mental health condition. There are a lot of other people that don't realize the impact that these words can have either. That's why I'm partnering with Razoo to raise funds for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They are there for families like mine. In a country where 1 in 5 is affected by a mental health condition, they've helped all of us to see the person, not the condition. If you join me in my pledge to be stigma-free and we raise $10,000, I'll host a Google Hangout on Monday, June 20th, to answer all of your questions about Season 4 of E's Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. Remember, no amount is too small. Even $1 helps make a difference.
Psycho, nutcase, schizo. You may not realize it, but these terms, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental illness, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. When the discussion on mental illness focuses on fear instead of hope, people struggling with these conditions get caught up in the judgment and shame attached to them. They become lost in all the talk and harmful words, and they may not get the support they need. But we can help by directing our loved ones to places like NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, for life-saving resources. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join me. Pledge to be stigma-free.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different never be the same. Don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay by your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
Welcome back to the cellar. So we're doing our wine tasting, and this is a Chateau Grand Jean. I don't know what is going on with me today, but it's from the Dublin family and in Bordeaux. They've been around since 1914. This is a medium-bodied wine that have some top cherries in it and some vanilla type chocolate in it. A taste to it. It's fruit forward. It's not too heavy, and it doesn't have a real big bite in the beginning, but it does have a short finish. But it's not as long finish like your more heavier Bordeaux. So it's a very short finish. It's a little wet at the end, but basically it's a really good wine because anything from Bordeaux Valley or the Bordeaux region is in the Medoc Graves rating, which is from 1955. They rate Bordeaux in the top 5 growth of the wine industry. So basically, I see you have some cigars. What cigar would you pair with this wine?
Actually, any cigar.
Okay.
Since it's supposed to be fairly light, medium body.
Mm-hmm.
I probably entertain myself with something a little more smoky. This is La Gloria Cubana.
Okay, you can show it over the camera. Yeah.
I guess you can see that. La Gloria Cubana. Mm-hmm. This is a Maduro wrapper, so it's going to be a little bit more heavy. It's very smoky, but it's very flavorful.
Okay.
The entire profile is very flavorful. Nice airflow.
Awesome. Great. So here we go. When I do a wine tasting, the first thing we do is we look up in the glass, and I call it the 3 C's.
Okay.
Color, clarity, and content.
Okay.
Most times women like the 4 C's, the diamonds. Now what we're going to do is we're going to smell it first. As you can probably smell a lot of the alcohol in it, but now I want you to swirl it. It's the magical swirl. Now smell it again.
That is amazing.
Smell the fruit.
Yes, now you feel it's because of fruit forward. Now, John, you had asked a question earlier about the wine, and when I was explaining to you, what was your question?
Well, do you aerate all wines? How do you aerate? When do you aerate wine?
Well, the moment you take the cork out or you twist the top, the wine begins to aerate. The wine opens up 100 times by the time you pour it into the glass, and then it continues to open when you swirl it.
Okay, so that the people that aerate with the little aerator
That's just to give it some extra taste to it,
Okay.
We'll make it move faster. Sometimes move slow. So we're going to taste this. There's 3 types of taste. The first taste is when it touches the tip of your tongue. The second taste is when you lay it on your palate. And the third taste is the finish. And we'll talk about that. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, have you noticed when I said there was no bite in the beginning? If there's any bite, just a little bite, but there's no real bite in the beginning. You begin to taste the notes. You begin to taste the tannins and some of the fruitness in it when you lay it on your palate. What did I say? Short, finish, but a little wet.
Right.
Yeah.
A little wet. And that's about the same with the salt that I usually test.
I would definitely smoke. This would bring out
That would bring out all
bring
the
out the cigar. The cigar would bring out the wine. Actually, you probably get the more flavor,
That's
the
that.
aroma and the taste.
Great. Hey, that's how we do here on the Cellar. The wine was sponsored by our sponsor for our wines of the week from Divine at 1303 14th Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. George is the owner of that beer and wine place right there on 14th Street near Columbia Road. Go check them out. You see the website there. We will start letting you know a week in advance of the wines we're going to be tasting, so you can go and you can order your wine from Divine Wines, and then you can also join us at home or wherever you are with your friends and join in, and maybe even get you some cigars at Petworth Cigars.
Petworth Cigars, 4203 Georgia Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C.
Great. Do you have a website?
We do. It's
Social
Petworth
media?
Cigars.
Petworth Cigars, okay.
IG, I have Petworth Cigars
Okay,
as well.
awesome. Great. Diane Johnson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So glad to have you and the cigars, you know,
Honored to be
on the
at the
show.
Cellar.
We're going to have to definitely have you back again, you know,
Absolutely.
especially as the weather gets even warmer. We're going to talk about nice summer wines, and are there summer cigars?
No.
No? Cigars good any time of the year.
Every day.
All season.
All season. Hey, my good friend John Harrison, thank you so much, man, for introducing me to Diane Johnson. You know, now let's talk about something real quick before we go. There's a big event happening at Petworth Cigars. Now, on Petworth Cigars, normally on Tuesdays is what, ladies' night?
Ladies' night.
Woo, ladies' night. We're going to do something different. That's right.
Okay.
We're going to do a wine and cigar
Yes, I'm so
tasting and
excited.
pairing at Petworth Cigar. Give them that address again.
4203 Georgia Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. We're right across from the Petworth Library.
Go get a book, come taste some wine, and enjoy what we're going to do on Ladies' Night at Petworth Cigars. Now, John, are we going to be inside or outside? Because, you know, the weather's nice. We need to take the party out on the terrace.
The weather's nice. We'll be outside.
Woo! I'm bringing my banners and everything. Tell your friends, tell your grandmother, tell your auntie, tell your mom, tell your dad, everybody you know, your cousins, tell them that your boy is going to be at Petworth Cigars on May the 25th. What time? 6:30 to what?
Until Diane put us out.
Oh, okay, until Diane put us out. Don't go nowhere. Don't touch down. Look, you've been tuned into The Cellar where we talk about wine, fashion, and lifestyle. I'm your boy, Richard Glover, master wine sommelier in the Washington, D.C. area on The Cellar. And guess what I always say, Diane, what I always tell my friends and my viewers, because, you know, I fly in here on a jet, and they see that in the beginning, my little jet. But, you know, it's about, I heard the buzz on my phone. He's outside waiting for me in the parking lot. For me to fly on. So, until next time, take time, enjoy fine wine, and we'll see you next time. Why don't y'all say it with me? In the cellar. In the cellar.